Hey, today on the Cuda, we're going to be filling up some holes in the hood. Let me show you what we got. You'll have to excuse the Bondo dust. This car had hood pins at one time in its life. I don't know if these were factory or not, but we're going to shave those, get rid of those. There's also two emblem holes. We're going to fill those up, and then the vents. This car doesn't need those anymore, so we're going to fill them up just to kind of clean the hood up some. All the cowl underneath it has been filled up. It's all smooth with the firewall. So what I've done here, I've made me some templates, and they're just a little bit wider than the louvers, vents, whatever you want to call them. They're a little bit wider, a little bit longer, and what we're going to do is I just played around with some poster board here and got it fitting the way I want it to fit, and then I checked the other side. It's the same, just backwards, so you just flip it from one side to the other. So anyway, what we're going to do is I've already took my template and cut out some pieces of metal. You can see that one over there. Here's this one here for the driver's side, and so we're just going to put this on here, and we're going to make sure that everything is covered good. Trace this and cut this piece out. We're going to claw this out and then clamp this in and weld this up. This does have a little bit of an arch to it, which I gotta do. I may just kind of work that on my knee or something, just to kind of get a little shape in there. So yeah, that's the plan for today. On the hood pin holes, what I did was I found me a washer that fits in here kind of loose, and then I got me a little piece of 18 gauge, and I trace the washer, and then I'll cut on the outside of my mark. That'll make my patch a little big, a little bigger than the washer, and then it should fit in there pretty decent. And I'll show you how I weld these in here. Okay, I got my little pieces cut out. They are a little big, but I decided to keep them like that instead of shaving them down some more. This hole needs to be cleaned up because it's got primer and who knows what else. So I'm going to take my burr bit. I'm just going to burr that hole out just a little bit to clean that edge up. I'm going to grind this to bare metal so I can weld it. And then I'll probably just grind that hole out until these fit. I mean, they're super close right now, but I figure that'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll clean that edge so it welds good and make the hole the right size. So here's what we got going so far. I got the piece in. How I started this is I just stick my magnet on there. See, like this one here. I just stick that on there and get it in the hole. That'll hold it in place, and then just throw you a good tack on there, and you can take the magnet off, and everything's fitting nice and flush. I take my time on the first, few tacks I put on it. I try to get everything lined up good so that I don't have a step on anything, So, but yeah, and then I take my air blower and cool that off. I'll put a couple of tacks on this piece and go over and put a couple on the other side, and then come back to this side, and I'll take my air blower and cool it a little bit just to keep it from warping. You don't want to get it overheated. So yeah, I'll show you the finished product when I get it all welded up. Okay, got the hole welded up, all the little holes. About to grind this thing down. I just wanted to talk for a second about when I weld a patch up like this, and I've heard a lot of people say, you know, just spot weld it and let it cool. I've seen guys use air blowers. I use air blower a lot when I'm doing stuff like this, just to kind of help cool it off in between tacks. So I'll do a couple of tacks, cool it off, and man, that, to me, that really helps keep warping down. I mean, this is still pretty smooth. It's sucked in just a little bit, but I think I can hammer it back out. But a lot of people never really talk about grinding. When you grind this, you can create just as much heat grinding as you can welding. It gets, especially these little angle head grinders. Man, I like to try to keep a really a good sharp grinding wheel on my, not grinding wheel, but like a roll lock. This is a 36 grit, but I like to try to keep a good sharp wheel on there so that it cuts instead of polishes. Whenever that wheel gets dull, man, that's when it starts creating a lot of heat, and you can get a lot of warping just from grinding. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing stuff like this. I'm about to grind this down, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, here's the finished product. This is ground down with the 36 roll lock wheel, and then I went back over it with 80 DA. So yeah, it's very, very faintly low. It's not bad at all. It's body filter will take that out, no problem. And I'm really happy with that. It's weird, you can kind of see where my welds were, but it's smooth. It's not raised up in those spots. I don't know. It's just anyway, yeah, moving on. So when you're making templates for stuff like this, it's pretty easy to make your template, but sometimes it's kind of difficult to figure out where you're once you get this cut out, it's kind of hard to figure out where your piece needs to be on here. You don't want to get too close to your vents, or, you know, I like to try to keep it pretty centered on here. So what I did here was I've got this little body shim. I just had this laying over here, but I put this against the edge of the louvers there. Took me a pencil and marked the edge. You can see my mark right here. Did the same thing over here. You got me a little mark. Did here and one here, and then I did the ends from the inside to there on both ends. You can see my mark right there. And then you can take your template and put on here, and you can center it between your marks, and then you'll know that your template's centered on your vent, and you can mark it, and I'll cut that out, and we'll be good to go. Here's the driver's side all tacked in. It's going really good. It's not warping any. Everything feels good right now. So I just on these, I took my magnets and stuck one on both ends. And as far as the gaps go, I usually try to make my gap big enough that I can get a little screwdriver in here and kind of tweak as I go. That gives you a good flush fit with your patch piece. So yeah, it's like man, it's nice right now. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one this far along, and then I'm probably gonna tack a few spots on this one and go over and tack a few spots on that one, just to kind of keep the heat and warpage down. All right, 65,000 tack welds later, we got it all welded. Pretty happy with it so far. It's pretty straight. There's a couple little spots that I can feel, but man, it's not bad so far. We still got to grind it. But I was gonna say, one thing that you might consider when you're doing a patch that's kind of narrow and long like this is you may, in a big panel like this, you may want to start in the center and kind of work your way out on your welds. At least your first tack welds to hold the panel in place. You may start in the center and, you know, do a couple on the sides and then kind of work your way out. That'll kind of keep everything from kind of buckling. If you start from the outside and work your way in, I found that it's more prone to kind of buckle and warp. So yeah, just start in the center and work your way out. It works better for me anyway. So just throwing that out there. So yeah, I'm about to start grinding this, and like I said on the little holes up there, you know, keep you a sharp wheel on your grinder, and just do a little at a time. You know, buzz off the top of your welds, let that cool off, and then do a little on that one. Come back, just work back and forth, and let your metal stay cool, and that'll help with warpage. Yeah, I'll go over this with my 36 wheel, and then once it's all nice and smooth, I'll buzz back over with 80 on a DA just to kind of clean everything up, and you'll see in a minute. Here's the finished product. I say finished. I'm out of 80 grit DA paper, so I got some ordered, but it's finished out in 36 grit, which it's kind of rough looking right now, but it's smooth. It's feels good. There's nothing crazy feeling. There might be a couple of little very minute lows, but and I think that's once I get it DA'd, I think that's body workable right there. So got that done. I got the two little emblem holes welded up. Got those ground down. I got to DA those. All right, that's my video for today. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can get notifications when new videos come out. Leave a comment or a complaint. You know, whatever you got, throw it at me. If you got a classic car, let me know what you have in the comments. Man, I love to hear what people have, and you know, if it's a project or something you drive on the weekends, or whatever you got, just, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.